Wicked for Good gave us glimpses of Dorothy but never a proper scene with her. Now director Jon M has revealed that scenes with Dorothy's face were filmed for the movie, but weren't included. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, in this video I'm explaining all the Dorothy scenes cut from the Wicked sequel and why. Dorothy first shows up in Wicked for Good after her house falls on and kills Nessa Rose, and we get a shot of Dorothy's silver slippers plus Toto, then a wider one from above as she skips away with some Munchkin landers. Now before the film's release, director Jon M said he decided not to show Dorothy's face because he, quote, didn't want to step on who the audience think Dorothy is, depending on which Oz movie or adaptation they'd already seen. The 1939 classic starring Judy Garland being the best known, of course. M also emphasised that the sequel is about Elphaba and Glinda's journey, and that Dorothy is just a pawn in the middle of their story, so giving her too much screen time might draw focus away from the main characters, especially given how iconic Dorothy is in the classic film. However, it turns out that M did initially shoot scenes that showed Dorothy's face, and he seriously debated including them in the final film. He explained there were various opportunities to use these in the final cut, but every time he considered it, they felt like a distraction. M said his intention was to remain as faithful as possible to the original Broadway musical and the way it always focused on Elphie and Glinda. It seems that the director thought that having too many additional scenes with Dorothy and showing her in full would make us wonder, what does Dorothy think about this moment? The Wizard of Oz, after all, is a story from Dorothy's perspective, and M was wary of creating a moment that's seen from her point of view, as this could hijack the essence of Wicked's story, which is to reframe the events of the classic movie and show them from Elphie and Glinda's perspectives. With regards to Dorothy's casting, M explained how they went about their choice. At the auditions, we would put a sheet up, looking at the performer's silhouette. Through that, I was looking at how she could walk, but also could I guide her in that way. The person had to have youthful energy, so we ultimately chose a dancer. Bethany Weaver, a relatively unknown actress and Pilates instructor, was cast as Dorothy, and she shared pictures of herself on the set of Wicked for Good, and a video which shows that they did film her face on. I think Weaver did a perfectly good job capturing the essence of Dorothy as we remember her from the 1930s film, even if mostly as a silhouette or in profile. On the one hand, I understand the reasons for not showing Dorothy's face, but it is a little odd to then also decide to feature her in more scenes than the original Broadway musical. For example, a scene was added of Dorothy and gang arriving to see the wizard, where he tells her to fetch him the Wicked Witch's broom. Another added scene shows Dorothy calling after the wizard as he leaves Oz in his balloon. Neither of these were in the original Broadway production, and their main purpose seems to be to try and connect Wicked for Good more strongly to the MGM classic. Plus, Glinda's additional comment as Dorothy chases after the departing wizard that it never ends with that girl is perhaps only there to potentially keep Dorothy in mind as a future character in a Wicked for Good sequel. In the original Wicked novel that the stage musical's based on, when Elphaba and Dorothy eventually meet, they have some touching moments. Dorothy apologises to Elphie for her house killing her sister and explains that although the wizard has asked her to kill Elphie, she has no intention of doing so. A scene like this would have brought additional depth to Dorothy in the new movie, while respecting Elphaba's story, and it would have been a perfect moment to reveal Dorothy's face. Instead, the only interaction we get between the two in the sequel is a tiny moment where Elphie is angry with the young girl and locks her in a basement, demanding that she return Nessa Rose's silver slippers, a scene that's very close to the one in the Broadway musical. Also in the Wicked book, Dorothy unintentionally kills Elphie with a bucket of water after her broom catches fire, whereas Wicked for Good implies that Dorothy threw the bucket intentionally with the aim of melting Elphie, whose broom doesn't seem to be on fire as it was in the 1939 movie. I suspect a lot of fans would have also enjoyed seeing scenes of Dorothy meeting Fiyero the Scarecrow, Boq the Tinman and the Cowardly Lion as she does in The Wizard of Oz. And again, these could have been interesting little moments giving the chance to see Dorothy properly without taking anything away from Elphie or Glinda's story. These moments were definitely not in the Broadway show, but I think many would still have enjoyed seeing more of Jonathan Bailey's Scarecrow than just a snippet of him at the very end. All of these possible additions could have really added something to the world, but it feels like M was more concerned with staying as faithful as possible to the Broadway musical, despite the various inconsistencies and plot holes in how the stage show tries to tie in with the Judy Garland movie. Although doubtless some fans of the Broadway show might have complained about any such changes and revisions, I'm sure an added bonus of not creating more scenes with the Lion and Scarecrow was that it saved a bunch of money on CGI. You could also argue that keeping Dorothy's face constantly hidden was just as distracting as if they'd shown it in a few short scenes, and I bet plenty of fans were sitting there wondering exactly when they were going to get to see her in full. After all, there's a lot more flexibility in a movie compared to a stage production, so whereas keeping a character in the background or in silhouette might work fine on stage, in a movie there are many more ways to briefly show a character without it stealing focus from the main cast. By the way, the Wicked filmmakers were so concerned what people might think of Dorothy and her casting that Weaver's name was deliberately kept secret and she wasn't allowed to go to any of the premieres. The cast and crew were also forbidden from connecting with her on any social media until her casting was officially announced. Whether we get to see more of these deleted Dorothy moments as bonus scenes on the home release, we'll have to wait and see. But there are some more big deleted scenes in the movie, including Glinda's pink train launch, a passionate Fiero and Glinda kiss, and an alternate ending, which I explain in full in my other Wicked for Good deleted scenes video. Tap right here to watch that. Thanks for enjoying the Wicked sequel with me. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers. See you next time.